It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Tuesday, the 4th of November. I'm Michael Groff. Well, it may feel as though you're stuck in a temporal causality loop. I assure you it's merely a very persistent weather pattern here over the Southwest. Dry conditions, temperatures above average through the rest of the week, heading into the weekend and the first part of next week as well. But way out there beyond this forecast period, a pattern change is looming that could bring about a change toward much colder temperatures and even some precipitation over the southwestern United States. What are the possibilities that will actually occur? We'll talk about that, plus so much more as we dive on in and discuss. First, looking at the almanac from yesterday. 89 degrees was the afternoon high here in Phoenix after a morning low of 63. 82 and 59 are the averages for this time of year. And as we take a look outside right now here just before 7 a.m., the sun coming up over the valley, we're sitting at 63 degrees at Sky Harbor, dew points at 39, relative humidity 42%. The winds are light and the barometer is rising. Satellite picture out here across the southwest. We put this in motion. Yeah, some high clouds came across the area yesterday, but nothing of real consequence from that. Temperatures today should be similar to, if not just a couple of degrees lower than what we experienced yesterday. High pressure remains the dominant feature, and while we will see occasional clouds passing by, for the most part, the pattern remains unchanged, at least through the weekend. Now, we will have a few of these storm systems pass by to the north, and that should lower temperatures a couple of degrees later this week. But in general, not much change to be had. The watch warning map, rather quiet. A couple of freeze warnings over parts of the nation's midsection. We've got some wind over the northeast, parts of the Pacific Northwest and the Great Basin. Otherwise, pretty quiet there. Convective outlook for today, hardly a rumble of thunder except for the immediate Northern California, Southwest Oregon coast, but no organized severe weather certainly around the nation. The tropics and the Atlantic Basin, quiet. The Pacific, very quiet. And we expect it to remain that way at least for a while. Now, of course, hurricane season does run through the end of the month, so we're not saying it's over with just yet, but just about. We're getting pretty close to wrapping up hurricane season, unless, of course, there is a surprise way out there at the end of the month or even into early December, which has happened before, but not sure if that's going to occur this year. Here's the precipitation outlook. This is valid through Tuesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, nothing. Region-wide, not much to be had. Again, the main storm track is staying to the north of us, but beyond this period, what might happen? We'll talk about all of that as we get to the models right now. Have a look at things. This is the GFS. It's the 06Z run. This is valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. What you're looking at here is the upper look. This is where the pressure is 500 millibars in the atmosphere, and that's about 18,000 feet above sea level. And for the most part, North America, at least the contiguous United States, is protected by high pressure and above average heights. And so what it means for us down at the surface for the rest of the day today, yeah, how about sunny? Well, mostly sunny. There could be a couple of high clouds passing by. High temperatures will top out somewhere in the mid to upper 80s. The warmest desert spots, of course, will get to near 90 degrees. Otherwise, for tonight, a couple of clouds around. Otherwise, we're clear. Overnight lows will generally be in the mid-50s in the cool spots, low 60s or so in the urban core. And then for tomorrow, it's basically the same forecast. Sunny, high temperatures, mid to upper 80s. We might take temps down a couple of degrees as we go toward Thursday and Friday. Highs more toward the mid 80s here in Phoenix. And those overnight lows will mainly be in the 50s to near 60 degrees during this time. As again, a couple of weather systems are going to try and pass by to the north and suppress the upper heights ever so slightly, but that's still above seasonal averages for this time of year. It's heading into the weekend here, and yeah, it looks like quiet conditions will continue. Highs generally in the mid 80s, maybe upper 80s at times Saturday and Sunday. Hardly a cloud to be found here across the region. Let's go to Monday. We got another trough heading toward the Pacific Northwest coast. Around here, things are pretty quiet. High temperatures, again, remaining somewhere in the mid to perhaps upper 80s. A week from today, this is Tuesday the 11th, and we're still quiet around here. Above average heights, so temperatures will still hold somewhere in the mid 80s if this verifies. This is Wednesday the 12th. The trough is off the Pacific Northwest coast, but around here, conditions remain very quiet. With that west-southwesterly flow, the heights may start to come down just a little bit, so high temperatures, though, will still remain a bit above average. I'd say still low to mid 80s. This is the end of the forecast period, Thursday the 13th. And very, very slowly, a trough is progressing toward the west coast. Southwesterly flow here, and temperatures remain above average. But what we're talking about, what we're kind of focused on is just beyond this as we trudge into Fantasyland. And the models have, of course, because we're out here at Fantasyland, they have done some flipping and flopping and changing and rearranging and all that sort of thing. But let's go out here. This is Saturday the 15th. This is 5 p.m. Saturday the 15th off the GFS. And this has a trough coming through the western states, including the southwest. Not nearly as dynamic, not nearly as deep as what we were showing you yesterday. The European, on the other hand, again, it's a little slower than yesterday, but it shows a very cold core system coming through the west, including the southwestern United States, and that would certainly bring temperatures way down to below average levels. We'd probably have highs in the 60s if this is right, somewhere out there toward, not this weekend, but next weekend. And again, we show you this not because we think this specifically happens. This is model trends, right? And we've been talking about a pattern change for a while, and we just wanted to show you what the models are sort of showing. And when we're talking about anything out here at 8, 9, 10 days and beyond, no, we don't care about the specifics. We talk about the general pattern, and the idea of a pattern change does look at least somewhat more likely out here. And this is the European AI. Now, this is actually Friday night, Friday the 14th, and it's got the trough kind of coming in here. And again, not quite as deep as the Euro, not quite as shallow as the GFS, kind of between those. But the idea, again, is a change toward cooler and somewhat more unsettled weather likely out here, well, somewhat more likely out here by the end of next week and into that following weekend. And we knew it's going to happen at some point. I mean, we're not going to sit here with highs in the 80s all the way until March, when then we just get into the 90s and then hit 100 by the 1st of April. I mean, that wasn't going to happen. We at some point are going to get this pattern interrupted. It's just a matter of when. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix, this goes out through the 18th of the month. This is off the GFS ensemble. And again, the trend is coming back up a little bit here. So the ensemble mean is just a shade over 1/3 of an inch. European ensemble, 51 members here. And of course, there are plenty of members that show nothing at all. And that is still very much possible that we won't see anything for the next couple of weeks. But more and more members are dialing in with the idea of at least some precipitation. And then ensemble mean has come up over 1/3, almost to 1/2 an inch. European AI is the most aggressive, although it does have a number of members that show nothing at all. But it's got others that are way up over 2 to nearly 3 inches of rain. So there's quite a big model spread here denoting uncertainty, but the ensemble mean is being pushed up toward 3/4 of an inch, maybe even just beyond that. So we had a comment yesterday saying that I'm gaslighting about all of this and that I'm telling you it's going to rain. We haven't predicted rain here. We're not predicting a pattern change. We're talking about something that may well occur based on model trends, because by and large here on these videos, one thing that we do a lot of is model discussion. And I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you what the models were showing you. And of course, we're going to do analysis and tell you, yes, are we saying it's going to happen? No, of course not. I have not predicted rain as was asserted in the comment yesterday. We're just telling you of what may happen here based on this model data. All right, looking at temperatures off the national blend of models, yes, the trend is to remain above average for a while. Late next week, yes, highs are going to start to trend down, and we do see signs of that pattern change coming in. It's a little slower here on the national blend of models because it's a model blend. But we've seen some pretty extreme numbers coming in, especially off the Euro. Obviously, if that happened, yes, temperatures would be much, much lower than this out there by about Saturday the 15th, Sunday the 16th, Monday the 17th. But we'll take that when it gets here. That's a long way out. Speaking of, let's take a look at the latest CPC outlook for the 8 to 14 day period of November 11th through the 17th. If this works out, temperatures are still slated above average, although you'll notice, we've been sort of shifting colors here very, very slowly. And we're heading back toward the near average category here. Probably a couple more of these kind of runs if the models continue to trend as they are. And The probability will be skewed more toward average temperatures around here as opposed to above. And precipitation. Yeah, you saw this probably in our thumbnail. Now the CPC guys have put us back into the probability tilted toward above average precipitation here over the west and here in the southwest as well, including Arizona, or at least most of Arizona. So that's some very good news as well. And again, this is not saying it's going to happen. This is probability. So, you know, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. You know, the dead meme of you guys can't even forecast 24 hours out. You know, if you want to spew that, this is not the place for that. You know, we've heard all the memes and all the. Why would you watch? What I want to know is why would you watch these videos if that's really how you feel about weather people? It's kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe the guy's a little bit masochistic. All right. Speaking of, let's wrap it up. Right. So that'll do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos and you want to support the channel, well, of course, be sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell, comments, questions, suggestions, all of that's encouraged. You can click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, just like Alan Van Horn did yesterday, making a donation to us by clicking that thanks below the video. We really do appreciate that. All of that helps us out. Also, John O'Brien on our PayPal donated to us yesterday as well. You can use our PayPal for that. groffshow@gmail.com is that PayPal address. It's groffshow@gmail.com for PayPal. Our Venmo is also linked up down in the description below, so take advantage of that. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my OAO, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona. Talking about my Michelle, check her out, blogs of which yet another new blog posted over there. She's got videos and everything that is Michelle related, as well as Kylie related, Adriana related. It is all linked up down in the description below. So I highly encourage you to check all of that out. Plus, our streaming station available 24/7, 365. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that. Linked up in the description. And check out the Courtroom Files YouTube channel, The Courtroom Files on YouTube, or courtroomfiles.com for all your Courtroom Files merch. Why should you check that channel out? Well, it's a great channel, lots of content. Of course, you should check it out for those reasons alone. I endorse it. But I'm also going to be hosting, again, over there this morning, TCF Live. That's going to be coming up here, boy, less than an hour from now. I better get moving on this, right? So, again, 10 a.m. East, 7 a.m. Pacific. For the rest of the week, you can see me filling in for Dan Sowell over there and doing TCF Live. And then Sidebar on Thursday night at 8 p.m. East, 5 p.m. Pacific for that as well over on the Courtroom Files YouTube channel. So Dan does a really great job, and he has graciously allowed me to fill in and kind of hold down the fort for him while he's gone. And so I have done my best to do that. And it's been a ton of fun. We've had a lot of great time, a lot of laughs, hanging out in the chat, and it's a great community. He has built an amazing community over there, you know, and some of you from this community have gone over there, and that is incredible as well, because I say this, I certainly don't have the audience Dan has for this channel, but the audience I do have, you guys are amazing. Even those of you that leave negative comments, you know what? You're still fine people as well. Just maybe a little misguided, but hey, you know what? We don't always have to agree, right? As long as we can keep it constructive. That's all I ask. All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. All of your continued support. It is amazing. It is so greatly appreciated. Please, I want you to be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Have yourselves a absolutely delightful. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait, stop everything. I want to make sure the music plays at the end of the video. All right, I caught it this time. I caught it before we went to roll the end here. All right, so what I do is I have to click this. There. Now, have yourselves a delightful rest of your Tuesday. Yeah.